I'm in the process of shortening these videos for you guys and girls. Probably, let's say, keep the videos around 10 to 20 minutes. If you have any comments or any tips you could give me on how to better the content or what you would like to see, please leave it down in the comments. Let's get into it. This is the Heartbreaker set. I'm using the Technician Talent Specialist with the P017 launcher. Again, when researching focused tier 3 rifle, AR, and shotgun. Also, it would be nice to have the amp for the 1+ skill tier and dismantling for the 12% increase in robotics damage. Now for my cores, I have 1 damage, 4 armor, and 3 skill. My armor is a little over 1.5 million and my health is a little over 330,000. Now for my skills, I'm using the Demolisher. This is a key component to having this build work. I didn't even notice how good the Demolisher was until I started using it. But yes, this is a key component. This is not optional for this build. Your second skill is optional. For this build, I am using the Bellstone Armory Polygon knee protectors and the exotic Memento backpack. For my primary, I'm using the Heartbreaker. You can swap the Heartbreaker out for the original TKB 408. That'll work as well, just in case you want to have more control over how your weapon is customized for the primary. You can use the TKB 408 for this build and other weapons. It's just the damage and the weapon handling of this weapon in particular is great. The benefits are the 20% increased weapon damage to pulse enemies, exceptional weapon handling, and it allows you to attach the linked laser pointer. Again, you can't attach the linked laser pointer to all assault rifles. You can attach it to all weapons, but there are some exceptions. So when you have tier 3 rifle and you unlock the linked laser pointer, you want to put it on your weapons if you can. And if you're running an exotic, you still are able to get pulses on headshots due to the Heartbreaker gear set, but this allows you to sustain that pulse enemy, making it to where you're able to gain stacks quicker. Moving on to the attachments, you have the optics. I'm going for the 20% optimal range, so the ACOG scope. For the magazine, we're going to 20 rounds with a -10 reload speed. For the underrail, you have the linked laser pointer, and the muzzle, you have the 20% stability with 10% optimal range. I was unable, due to the Memento, I am unable to go to the firing range and test out this build in particular because you're unable to get the stacks at the firing range from the Memento trophies. So if I were to give a rough estimate of how much damage you're doing with this build, I would say around 4.5 to 8 million damage. But again, this isn't from any test that I ran. This is literally just what it feels like I'm doing. So this could be more or less incorrect. It could be 7 million, but it feels like 8 if you understand what I'm saying. We can move on to the secondary now. This is a very, very good weapon. Iconic ACS 12. For the talent, I'm using steady hand, meaning the more you're getting hits on target, the more accurate and the more stable the weapon gets. The benefits are automatic. It's an automatic shotgun, and it stacks the Heart Stopper the fastest out of any weapon I've tested, even the Dark Winter with the 1200 round per minute. It also gives you a blind fire advantage, just like the Dark Winter. You can also attach a linked laser pointer to this weapon. Again, you have to aim at the enemy. You can't blind fire at the enemy and get the pulse, but it's a shotgun. One of those pellets will be a headshot and you will get pulse, so you don't necessarily have to leave cover in order to get that. And this leads me to another point. If you don't want to add the link laser pointer to the ACS 12, go for the 10% accuracy grip, because you want to have that spread tightened so that your shots are more focused and concise. This will enable the Heartstopper to stack much quicker if all of those pellets hit on target. With it being an automatic shotgun, you won't really have to leave cover that much. For the optics, I'm going 10% accuracy. For the underrail, you can either do linked laser pointer or 10% accuracy. Now for the sidearm, I'm using Profit. This isn't mandatory at all. I'm only using the Profit to get proficient with it. We're going to go over armor regen, hit the notes, and then that'll be the video. Now for armor regen, Memento at max stacks gives you 3% armor regen. The Bellstone Armory Polyone knee pads grants you 1% armor regen due to the set bonus. That puts you at max stacks with the Memento. You get 4% armor regeneration for 5 minutes, because if you don't sustain grabbing at least one trophy within 300 seconds, the stacks reset, which is fairly easy to do. So you won't really have much of an issue gaining stacks unless, like, as long as you're focusing those targets, focusing veterans, focusing normal enemies at the beginning of the match, while also focusing drone pilots, warhounds, robotics, and tanks with your demolisher, you won't have much of an issue sustaining your stacks and staying alive. You'll also lose your stacks if you are deceased, so try to at least stay in control when out there. And if you ever feel like you're taking a ton of damage or you lose any of your bonus armor stacks, that is a sign that you may need to reposition. Next is the notes. The Heartstopper stacks do not stack if a mini tank is pulsed. It works against all other enemies but mini tanks. So if you're firing at a mini tank and the tank is pulsed, you won't gain bonus armor, you won't gain stacks to your Heartstopper at all. So keep this in mind when engaging them. But that doesn't mean ignore the mini tanks. You still have to engage in the mini tanks. Either get them out of commission or destroy them completely, because they will give your team a hard time. They're not an easy enemy to deal with, and you may be the only one that can target a mini tank and get it out of commission or take it down or immobilize it. Be sure to build Memento stacks early on, and don't get deceased while doing this, or else your stacks will reset. This build also works well in the open world and in the summit. If you are being targeted by an enemy, blind fire from cover with the ACS. This will allow you to build bonus armor and keep the bonus armor without taking an immense amount of damage. Now, if you are critical, don't do this either, because they can target your limbs. At max Memento stacks, you get 4% armor regeneration, and if this is not enough, you can swap out your second skill for something that gives you a boost. You have two sources of bonus armor, the Heartstopper and the Memento. Use this to your advantage when in combat. And lastly, keep in mind the damage output varies based on expertise, SHD, and attributes. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to like and comment down below how you feel about the audio, the gameplay, and the content itself, and how I can better provide these uploads to you in a more efficient way. Be on the lookout for more shorts, uploads, and more better quality content. That's it. I'll see you guys on the next upload.